Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Shawn here from Insights, and today we're going to integrate ET200AL into our S7 program in TIA Portal. And for these, I'm going to be using the S7 1500. I used the 1200 for the ET200 SP, so I figured switch it up a little bit. You're not going to notice any difference, but it is nice to use different PLCs in different videos, right? So with that said, I'm going to switch over to the overhead cam here. And we're specifically going to be focusing in on this digital input-output module. We'll save the I/O link for a later show. And you can see I just have it connected to some various sensors. This actual photo has two outputs, a light operate and a dock operate. And then I have two different inductive proxies I just had lying around here. And of course, here's our interface module. And if you missed the previous episode, you can see I got power coming in and then daisy chained between the three modules. And I also have communications down here with Profinet coming in on the interface module up here. And so with that, let's take a look at this part of the demo here. This is actually a demo that students can use when they come in for in-person training. Let's take a look at setting up the digital input and output. So the first thing I got to do is go over to the computer here and put my glasses on. And here you can see a project I already have open for my S7 1500 in TIA Portal V18. And I'm going to come down here to Online Access, and I'm going to expand my internal Ethernet card, and then I'm going to do Update Accessible Devices. And this is the only device on the network right now. This is my ET200AL interface module. So I'm going to go Online and Diagnostics. I'm going to go to Functions. I'm going to go to the Profinet name, and then I'm going to make this DIO underscore, and I'm going to call it ET200AL underscore A. And we're going to assign that name to that device that was, just out of the box. I actually reset it to factory default, so it would be like it was just out of the box. And so we can see down here, Profinet name has been assigned. And so with that done, we don't have to give it its IP address. What I want to do is go to Devices and Networks here, and I want to discover it by going to Online, Hardware Detection, Profinet Devices from Network. Let's go ahead and search. Okay, there you can see it. Let's add this to our project. Okay, it's detecting the device. It's adding it to the project. Hardware detection successfully done. Let's see if it was successful. I'm going to double click on it. And yes, not only did it get the interface module, but it also brought in both I/O modules. So we have an I/O and I/O link module. Okay, so this first one is the DIQ, and then this is the CM4X I/O link. So those are actually in the same physical order they are in the field. And so now we need to set the IP address here. And this way, whatever we put here, the CPU will send out to the Profinet device with this name. So let me come back up here, and I wanted this to be 2.217. Okay, and then it's 255.255.00 here in my office. So now let's back up to Devices and Networks, and let's assign that I/O to our PLC. And now if we go back in there, now that it's assigned, we should be able to find the I/O addresses. Let's go to I/O tags. And I already had some tag names in there to save time. I put some tag names in there. But you can see 18 and 10. That's what it got by default. And because I had done this previously, I already had some tags in there mapped to those addresses. So just very simple, digital in and digital out. And then to save time, I also have a very simple program in this project where I say, if input 1 comes in, turn on output 5. Input 2, turn on output 6, 3, 7, 4, 8. So at this point, let's go ahead and select the PLC. Let's compile our project, make sure we have no mistakes. Okay, I also did disable the password. That's something you have to do in V17, V18. So I went ahead and did that because I didn't want to add a password to this demo unit on my bench. So with that done, we are ready to download. I do have to turn the PLC back on, so I'll be right back. Okay, the PLC should be on, so let me go ahead and download to it. Okay, let's start a search here. Okay, there's our PLC at 2.115. So let me go ahead and load this project into that PLC. Okay, the load completed. So now let's go ahead and go online. Matter of fact, I'll just monitor this routine right here. And we can see we have everything's in the green. So it found our distributed I/O, no problems. And that's good. And now we need to put it into the run mode. And it looks like I'm going to have to do that in the field. So let me just sneak out here and hit run. Okay, you can see it's going to run. And you can see one of the inputs are already on. That's the photo eye because it has a normally open and normally close, or a light operate and dock operate. So what I'll do here is I'll just put my hand in front of the photo eye and we'll see it switch. And then I have these two inductive proxies here. So I'll just put the flags in front of them. You can see them come on. And now let's go out to the overhead cam here and take a look. And you can see here are the indicator lights for where the photo eye is coming in. You can see it changing. Okay, and you can see the outputs. I know it's hard to see. We got so many cables here, but you can see the outputs changing based on the program. So it's mirroring the input. And then you can't really see on here to see these inputs, but we can see the outputs here. So you can look at the indicators on the cables here to see both of these are on. Let me go ahead and move the flags. You can see one of the outputs over here went off. And of course the output went off. We'll do this other one. Excellent. So that's how easy it is to integrate ET200 AL/IO into your S7 project using TIA Portal. Again, I use TIA Portal version 18 here, and I use an S7 1500, but it works. I actually did all the testing at home with an S7 1200. There's no difference in how it works, which I think is pretty amazing, right? Because that little inexpensive unit can handle the distributed I/O, not as much, but can handle distributed I/O just like the larger, more expensive S7 1500. And with that, that's the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. We'll come back and do another episode here on IO Link with ET200 AL. It's quite different than doing your standard I/O, especially with this device that a customer gave me. So we'll do that in the next episode. But for now, I want to wish you all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.